Welcome to another episode of Pimp Your Brilliance with Monique Malcolm, a podcast about brilliant people leveraging their passions to create their own opportunities. I aim to show you what's really possible when you shut down the chorus of fear and lean into your genius zone. You can learn more about this show and subscribe for updates by visiting keepchasingthestars.com/podcast or come hang out with me on Instagram at StarChasersOnly. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey guys, this is Monique Malcolm and welcome to episode 0 of the Pimp Your Brilliance podcast. I'm really excited to be doing a podcast. It's been a long time coming. I have wanted to launch a podcast for at least 2 years. and now it really feels like the right time. But before we get into all of the goodness that is Pimp Your Brilliance, I wanted to talk about what it means to pimp your brilliance and what this show is about and share the ultimate goal for this show. So what does it mean to pimp your brilliance? Pimp your brilliance, to give you a little bit of a backstory, is something that a good friend of mine, Krista David, who's an artist and she'll be on the show soon, she said it to me one day in just a fit of like straight up meltdown, fear spiral. It was right as I was in the middle of commercially producing the Visionary Journal for the very first time. And so if you're not familiar with the Visionary Journal, it's a planner system that I created, and I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And the very first time it went to commercial print, it just was a very trying experience to figure out production and money and is this going to sell? And quietly, I wanted to do a Kickstarter, and I just was too afraid to do it. I didn't think it was going to be successful. Nobody was going to support it. And so I was expressing all of these frustrations to her. And she said to me, don't worry about it. Like, you got this. It's going to be great. You have support. You just have to pimp your brilliance. I found that to be so profound that I wrote it down on a Post-it note and I stuck it to my computer screen. And it stayed there for over a year, and I would reference it all of the time, and I just loved it. Those words struck me. So, I bought a domain name, I did all the things, and I just sat on it because I knew I needed to make this an idea, a movement, or something. I just didn't have anything for it at that time. Fast forward about a year and a half later, and I wanted to launch this podcast, and I'm trying to think of a clever name. Pimp Your Brilliance just came back. Just like that. And I just knew, yes, like that's what the show needed to be called. It's in alignment with what I want people to know and feel. That's why I decided on that name. And as a funny fact about that, I have repeated this story to Krista so many times since then, and she does not remember telling me that. But what does it actually mean to pimp your brilliance? Because here, this is a statement that somebody just said to me at random, and I gave it a definition, and this is how I define pimping your brilliance. Pimping your brilliance is using, exploiting, leveraging your smarts, your skills, your experiences, your quirks, your passions, all the things that make you you to obtain something greater. So in this case, we're talking about pimping your brilliance. I'm having interviews with guests and people who have created their own opportunities from things they're passionate about. From the guest who used to be a child psychologist who's now a DIY blogging superstar, to the guest that loves t-shirts and sandwiches and decided to combine the two into an incredibly niche and well-branded clothing line. So I'm just talking about you and your brilliant brains and the things that make you you, your passions, what you really love and care about, using those things to make something greater, to build something. Doesn't matter if you want it to be a business or a side hustle or just a passion project that you just like to do. I want you to stop sitting on your ideas and put them out into the world. The way that I am planning to do that and encouraging you to do that is by showing you what's possible. My 2 goals for this show is to, 1, show you what's possible, and we're going to do that by interviewing all types of guests from different backgrounds, and also to inspire you to take action. Everybody who comes on the show is sharing how they started, how they make money. They're sharing their highs, they're sharing their lows, They're giving you bits of insight and wisdom and nuggets of great information that they have learned through their experiences. And I really hope that you take what they're sharing and use that to do your own brilliance pimping, because you are more than capable. And I want to show you that there's not that much difference between that person who built that incredible brand or launched that really neat idea and yourself. Fear is really the only difference. They decided to take action on that. That's my goal for this show. We launch officially on May 10th. Shows will be out Wednesday mornings, and it's going to be bi-weekly interviews. And then in the off weeks, I will be answering listener questions, sharing musings, going deeper into some of the topics that came up in the previous episode. It's going to be further exploration into what it really means to pimp your brilliance. I don't want to just give you all of these inspirational interviews, because I don't believe that inspiration without action behind it is really worth anything. So I want to combine that inspirational piece with also actionable tips and strategies and advice that you can use. Hopefully, you'll find what we're sharing interesting, and you will, in fact, pimp your own brilliance. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned for May 10th, because our very first episode launches with a super cool and very funny guest. And I cannot wait to bring these interviews to you. So let's get ready, because Pimp Your Brilliance is actually happening. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back here on May 10th. And that's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening. Learn more about this show and get access to show notes by visiting keepchasingthestars.com. While you're there, make sure you subscribe for updates. I'll be back next week, and in the meantime, go out there and pimp your brilliance.